watch out!
Whoo, boy, okay, things have really heated up over the weekend. There are so many leaks for Pokemon Legends Z8 coming out. The data mine is in full swing. The people with the early copies have played through the entirety of the game. There is a lot to talk about. We even have some reviews of the game from people who have played through the entirety of it already because they had early copies of it and are letting us know their thoughts on it. And let me tell you, the news is good. So for any of you who are scared, there you have it. We have great news about the quality and enjoyability of the game. Now, this should go without saying, but I did have someone in the comment section in my last video getting sad that they saw something spoilery in the video. So full disclosure, this time around, we are covering leaks. There's gonna be some mild spoilers here. Not everything's gonna get spoiled, but there's gonna be some things that like only you can decide how much you want spoiled for yourself. And I'm the same way. I don't want the full game spoiled for me. So I am going to gloss over certain things for myself. I might still cover it here at a nice glance and then not really look at it too hard. But aside from that, you have been warned. Let's go ahead and get into the major, ultra mega, you might say, amounts of leaks that we have to look through. So we're going to be going a little bit out of order just for cohesion's sake. So first I want to start with this specific part here in the leaks, which is potential returning Pokemon in the DLC Mega Dimensions. Now, these were Pokemon that were scrubbed from the source code here, and we've known from past games, specifically I think Sword and Shield, that when they scrub them, that means they're going to come back in some sort of DLC patch, because that's what happened in that game. So let's look at the list here, because there's some interesting ones to make note of. I'll actually have to take myself out of here so you can't see me. So we have quite a few Pokemon here, but the biggest ones to note are Latios, Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza. And the reason that's so big is because we were all wondering, like, are these going to be the only Pokemon with Mega Forms that aren't in ZA? Well, nope, they're returning too. All of them here, as you can see. So that's really good. Now, it's worth noting, so no one gets confused, not every Pokemon on this list is going to have Mega Forms. We just know that these 5 in particular have Mega or Mega adjacent forms already. So them being put in the game means they will probably have access to those forms as well. Now, my personal favorite part of this list is that we're getting some Galar love. We got the Corviknight line, which is one of my favorite lines. We have the Octo, I forget their names, but I like them, Graplock, and the pre-evolution. Oh, and Mr. Rhyme, love that. I love Mr. Rhyme. Yeah, lots of great Pokemon here from Gen 8, and it looks like Weird Year here. Interesting, so we might be getting some Hisuian Pokemon as well. So that's really exciting to me personally. I really love that. We're getting some Gen 7 love here too, and we're even getting Melton, which is a legendary from that generation. That's pretty interesting. And some Gen 5 legendaries here. That's also interesting. Oh, and Genesect? Wow. Okay. That's a mythical. Crazy. Okay, cool. Now, on top of those returning Pokemon that we're going to have in the DLC, there's gonna be new megas. I know that that's what gets most of you excited. So we're gonna look at which megas those are here. There's no visuals, it's just a list. So you don't have to be spoiled on what these megas look like here coming up. So let's look at these now. So in the Mega Dimension data mine, we are going to have Raichu X and Raichu Y, which we already knew. I mean, they're being marketed for the project here, so nothing new there. We're gonna have a Mega Chimecho, which is honestly very deserving of this because Chimecho is one of those Pokemon who's pretty weak otherwise. So having a Mega Form might put them on the map in some way, shape, or form. Absol Z. So something you'll notice here, we got some Z Megas. Pokemon specific to, you know, this representing Pokemon Z that we never got. Pokemon ZA is. So Absol is going to have another Mega Form called Absol Z. That's cool. Staraptor, well deserved. That's a very popular Pokemon. Garchomp Z. Garchomp is very loved. I'm glad they're getting another Mega, but for me personally, I feel like Megas should be reserved mostly for Pokemon that aren't that strong in the first place. That's just me. And then maybe some really popular ones. So I guess Garchomp is very deserving of that. I mean, Garchomp is an extremely popular Pokemon. Extremely popular, with one of the most popular Elite Four members being associated with him. So Lucario Z, also very popular, sure. Golurk, that's cool. Okay. Meowstic, I love that. That's amazing. Crabominable, okay. Maybe I'll like the design better than its regular design. Golisopod, ooh, I'm excited to see what they come up with for that, because that's already a kind of unique Pokemon in the sense that the ways that the directions they could take that mega form could go so many different ways. Then we got Magearna. That sounds so familiar. I need to look up who that is. Hold on one second. Okay, Future Johnny here is back. No time passed for you, but time passed for me. So that's a mythical Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken, Magearna is. That's why I'm not too familiar with it, because I really fell through Gen 6 and 7 because, I don't know, they were the least memorable generations to me. I was also becoming an adult at the time. It was hard to keep up, and especially with mythical distributions, they were not the best in Gen 6 and 7, and arguably also 8 and 9. So mythicals have kind of fallen off the map for me just in general since, I don't know, Gen 6, and I think that's where that one comes from, question mark. I actually don't know. Maybe you guys are going to tear me apart in the comments for that one. I don't know, but I'm very, 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 very clear on the fact that I am very foggy on Generation 6 specifically. So we'll also have Skullvillain, which is that the plant Pokemon from Gen 9, I believe? That's interesting. I'm excited to see what they get for that. Glamora, ooh, that's gonna be cool. I would love to see what this Mega Glamora looks like. Tatsugiri, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see a Tatsugiri Mega. I can only imagine what they're gonna do with that. Maybe he'll graduate from sushi to like full course meal. I don't know, we're gonna find out. Or maybe a fully cooked salmon. It's gonna be something. Or maybe something ridiculous. Maybe it's like a half-eaten sushi, because they've been doing like these really goofy megas with ZA, so that's very possible. Baxcalibur. That's already a super cool looking Pokemon, so I'm excited to see what we get with a mega form for that. So, amazing things here. They wanted to leave us a note, Central Leaks did, about how the list is missing Zeraora, Heatran, and Darkrai. But we also had prior leaks and data mines saying that we were going to get mega forms for those three. So maybe there's more than one DLC, or maybe there's a free patch that's going to come later that's going to add them in. But most curious to think about regardless. All right, so from here on the video, I'm gonna start going in order of when all of this information was released. So we're gonna go from a little bit older to the newest stuff now. And when I say older, I mean it's still not even that long ago, literally like still a day ago. So we're gonna look at it all together, compiling it all, talking about it, because there's just so much to digest, and I'm so excited to do this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go ahead and start from here. This is the title screen for Pokemon Legends ZA, and I think this is so cool looking. I am both intrigued and also sad to think about. We got some new information that once you beat the main campaign of the game, you will get a new title screen that looks kind of like the antithesis of this. Now, I saw that new title screen. We might even see it later in this video. I'll think about it because I don't want to spoil too much for everyone here. But the new title screen, it's not quite as atmospheric as this, but it is beautiful. So I don't know. I love the atmosphere of this. Maybe by the time I beat the game, I'll be tired of seeing it and be ready for that new title screen, but we'll see. Either way, this is beautiful. I love it. I really like the digital effects in the back and, you know, still referencing Zygarde all at the same time. Wonderful stuff. I'm not going to talk about this for too long. You can see here all the different ways that you can play multiplayer with 6 Pokemon normal, casual, or 3 Pokemon normal, casual. You know, there's going to be different ways to play the multiplayer, which I honestly didn't expect. I thought it was just going to be the one way. So this is better than I expected because of that alone. And as such, I am more than happy with what we're getting. All right, so here's the part where we're going to be seeing some mega Pokemon. Now, we're going to start with some versions of it where you can't see them as clearly, but as we go later in the video, there's going to be better footage and screenshots of them that you're going to see more clearly. So we're going to go through first impressions and then our full impressions when we see the full models in action, because I know for myself, from what I've kind of skimmed, I already know I'm going to change my mind based on the first images and seeing them in motion. So right from the jump here, we're going to see Feraligatr already, right? We can hardly tell what's going on here. It just looks like him, right? With something behind him. Then we have Mega Scolipede and Mega Drampa. We're going to say Drampa here. Now, Drampa is one of my favorite Gen 6 Pokemon. Not many Pokemon stand out to me from Gen 6, but that was one of them, along with like Aurorus and a couple others. So I'm so happy that Drampa's getting some love in a Mega, because I thought he was a very underrated Pokemon. Now we got first screenshot of Mega Embror. Okay, I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna keep some motion going on here because I don't want to get flagged by you know, whatever might flag these here, Nintendo. So here's Mega Drampa right here, and still not too clear of a visual, but you know, we're right here in front of the, I think that's the Quasartico building right behind him. So that's cool. It looks gorgeous right here in this lighting at night. Oh, here's another up close of Mega Drampa. All right, Mega Feraligatr. This is the image, the infamous image where everyone's like, oh, they had one job. Terrible. And honestly, I was right there with them. I was like, this is awful, but we're going to see more of it later. And I think I changed my mind on this. So then we got Mega Scrafty. I like it. He's in a nice jumpsuit now. So good for him. All right. What do we got here? Mega Chandelure. Ooh, okay. So it looks like he's getting even fancier. Yeah, he's getting even fancier. Also, the second image caught my attention. It seems that the Sugimori style artwork for Mega Chandelure, and that's not the style used in-game or even current marketing materials. Could it be that we have an insider? Oh, interesting. So they're questioning where some of these are coming from exactly. Interesting. Okay, it's been confirmed that just like in Legends Arceus, shiny Pokemon will make a sound when spawning, and there's also separate shiny icons for Pokemon. That's amazing. That's what everyone wanted. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Keep it going the way it is. That's all I'm saying. So I'm so glad, because Legends Arceus really did make it so much easier to get shiny Pokemon or realize that there's a shiny Pokemon around you. And I was able to catch several, which is very new for me as well. Apparently Hoenn starters aren't in the game at all right now. Could be featured. Okay, and I don't think we saw the Hoenn starters in that leaked list later on. So, are the Hoenn starters in the game? Maybe when we get back up to that list, I'll look again, but I don't know if they are. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Looks like one person beat the game and hasn't found the Hoenn starters. Yeah, so we're just getting a bunch of info on that. Right here, they're going to say that they're not sure if their source saying that this is 5 years after the events of X and Y is legit, but we're going to find out later whether or not that's legit because someone took a screenshot. Now, this is huge because even I wanted this. I wanted Mega Dragonite to have Dragonair colors. And lo and behold, Mega Dragonite has Dragonair colors, as confirmed here. We're also going to see an image of that later on, which is almost exactly what you'd expect of it, and that's great. So, all right, at this point, the data mine has started. There's a full list of the Pokemon in the game in the base decks right here, okay? I'll let you guys look at that on your own time. I don't think we need to look at that together, personally. All right, Mega Scolipede. Here's our closer look at Mega Scolipede. Let me, get some motion on here so I don't get no flags. All right, this looks great. I really love it. I love regular Scolipede, so this is a Pokemon that just, to me, I thought was underrated, so I'm glad that they're getting some love. Mega Frostlass. This is interesting. This looks like it's full-on Dynamaxing. It's so funny. This looks really cool. I actually like this change to the Frostlass design. I like it better than the original. All right, more talk about Megas that we don't need to talk about right now. And they also have some info about the stats as well, but we're not going to talk about that here either because this is not a competitive Pokemon channel. Here's a very raw close-up screenshot of Mega Clefable. We're going to see some clearer stuff of this, I think, as well later, of the Mega Clefable. And again, more stat stuff. We don't need to talk about that. All right, so now we're gonna see these in motion. Now this is why I think that this design is actually pretty cool, because look when it clamps down. So it's like another strong, if you guys don't know, that alligators in real life have this super strong chomp when they chomp, right? But lifting up is very weak. So they have weak muscles to lift their mouth open, but when they chomp, it is like the most powerful thing in the world. Like it can it's like a full several tons of metal falling on you. That's how powerful it is. So this is actually pretty cool, and I like that it's in the shape of Totodile's head. I don't know why. That's goofy. Again, they've been doing some goofy megas for ZA, whereas X and Y, I feel like they went for edgy and cool. And this is like a goofy that, I don't know, I'm kind of behind it. Oh, and the arms also retract. He literally takes on the shape of Totodile when everything retracts. The arms also retract into him. This is so weird. It's so weird. I'm sorry. But it's kind of cool. I think, again, they could have done better. I think Feraligatr deserved a better non-goofy mega evolution, but this goofy one's kind of cool. Maybe he'll get an edgy one in the DLC. I know he wasn't in the list earlier, but I would love to see maybe in a second DLC or something, possibly. All right, so Mega Starmie. I was not a fan of the idea of Mega Starmie just getting taller until I saw him in motion, and I realized they're going for this like superhero bit. He's a superhero, and that's pretty cool. All right, another one. I already liked the screenshot of Mega Embor, but this is even cooler. And seeing him in motion, you know, he's got a staff. I've noticed that they're really using staffs for a lot of these unpopular third evolution starter Pokemon. So like Chestnut's third evolution getting a staff, and now Embor getting a staff. You know, it really does up the coolness factor quite a lot. So it's such a simple thing, and it's so funny how effective it is. Oh, and here we see, wait, who is this? Is this a barnacle? What is this? Is this an evolution? It doesn't say. There's no text here. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper in the comment section and see what they say this is. Okay, Future Johnny's back again with some not great info. No one said what this was. I think it's the barnacle Pokemon. This looks like his hands. And if so, this is the coolest shift from whatever a base Pokemon has made to their Mega form. Hands down, 100%. Mans is doing the Frieza pose. He's doing the full mile aura farming. This is really cool. And it's not something I expected from the barnacle Pokemon. I forget. What is its name? Barnacle? Barbanacle? I have no idea. I really don't remember. Sorry. All right, now there was a Mega Meganium animation, but I think because that's going to be something they're revealing soon, it got flagged and the post got taken down. So we're not going to see that. Mega Exadrill. This is interesting. Okay, I think this is just him sideways. So I don't think he's actually going to be like laying on his back like this. Ooh, Mega Phalanx. That's cool. Whoa, look at him go. He got all his gadgets and gizmos. Oh, that's really cool. I'm a big fan. I love Phalanx in general. Now, this is pretty big. You can hold the button to skip cutscenes in Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, what worries me about this, because I think we did have an option for this in one Pokemon game before, but it only came in like the fully animated cutscenes. And that's a problem because most of the cutscenes in game are not in like a fully animated cutscene. And matter of fact, those are the ones that we probably would not want to skip. So I'm hoping that what we can skip are those like parts where we have to keep pressing A, like endless dialogue boxes where the characters do nothing but like rotate on their axes and don't do much, and then just do this stock this, you know. So I'm not too excited for this because, again, I feel like it's only going to be in the like nicely rendered cutscenes that we wouldn't want to skip anyway. But we'll find out. We'll see. Okay, some little small bit of info here that might be important for some of you, but in multiplayer, you can only switch your Pokemon out 3 times. So strategy is going to be important there. Be careful. All right, but this is so, there's going to be so many people who are so mad about this. And to that, I say, you can go, you may leave, but This is great. So male trainers can wear skirts confirmed. The customization isn't gender locked at all. Now, I find this interesting though, because I do think that we've seen the trainers wear similar outfits and the fits are different on the characters. Like the pants flare out, for example, on the female, but they don't flare out for the male. So I don't know how much that's true anymore. If we're seeing them in a full-on skirt, we're going to see them in more later. Or I guess less is the word I'm going to use. We're going to see them in less later. So we had some music leaks. We're not going to listen to any of that here because, you know, again, copyrights and flags and stuff. So we're going to skip past those. Now, this is nice. You can have 6 pre-set up teams. I'm assuming this is for the entire game and not just for multiplayer. I hope so. That would be nice. Now, there is the museum in Kalos, and apparently we have access to it again. And there's a Legends Arceus section. So here you can see the Legends Arceus trainers. I don't want to get too close up on these images because I don't want Nintendo getting mad at me. But we got them here. We got the little, I think this was one of the shops in Jubilife Village. It was definitely one of the shops. I just don't remember which shop it was. I want to say it's where you got your hair done, but maybe I'm wrong about that. And then some artwork, of what looks like Jubilife Village back there. And then some more things here. There's the pictures of the Diamond Clan, the Pearl Clan, and some other stuff. That's interesting. And one of these NPCs, oh no, that's not someone from Legends Arceus, but either way, that's going to be really cool. And so for all of us Legends Arceus fans, this is going to be a nice little ode to us. Now, this is going to be the first game where the Nurse Joys actually look different at every Pokemon Center. So now here we have a Nurse Joy of color, and we're going to see another Nurse Joy variation later on. I thought it was interesting because even the Nurse Joy we saw in the demo footage looked a little different from what Nurse Joy usually looks like. So this is kind of cool to see in real time as we get more info on the game. Now here is Mega Embor in full 3D right here. I love the look of the staff. It's like a fire staff. That's pretty cool, actually. But let's move on. So Slowbronite, okay. This is an interesting bit of information. The Mega Evolution Stones do not work on regional forms. So if you have a Galarian Slowbro, outright says here, it won't work on them. So it makes sense. I mean, I would have expected as much, but I'm glad that they, you know, left that caveat in there so that we all know with full transparency. This is a big change that will be controversial, according to them. You can no longer disable autosave. Excuse me? You can't disable autosave? That is controversial. I'm kind of mad about that because the only reason I ever had autosave on was in one Pokemon game, and it was Scarlet and Violet. And the only reason I had it enabled is because that game crashed all the time. But now we have like a fully functional Pokemon game. I want to be able to save at my own accord and not have it save for me. Ooh, now I'm nervous. Okay, you know what? It should be fine. The way that the Legends games are set up, it should be okay, I think. I hope. We'll see. We shall see. That is controversial. All right, here's another look at Mega Feraligatr. Ooh, the colors make it look real cool, actually. So it looks like Totodile, but like the color scheme is a bit different. That's really cool. And they're fighting an alpha. I think that one's called Krokorok. I forget which each individual Croc in that line is called, but yeah, I think that's Krokorok. Oh, the musical composer for this game is actually someone who did like fan versions of music on like YouTube and stuff. So that's really cool. That's why the music has been so banger. We've been hearing the music tidbits in the trailers, and they've been really good. And I'm someone who does not like the Gen 6 music in general. Like, I hate the Lumiose City song. I hate it. It drives me insane. It drives me off the wall. But the rendition in the trailers that we've heard several of them, and they were all good to the point where I actually like it. I actually like the theme. It's amazing what a change in music composer can do, even when iterating on the same song. Very interesting. Toby Fox did not work in PLZA at all. Very interesting there as well. I wonder why. Ooh, so this is information catered towards me. Pokemon Legends EA has a total of 121 side quests. Some of them give you rewards for Pokemon like the Kalos starters, okay. Also, you can rematch Rogue Mega Pokemon fights with an added time trial. That's amazing. All great news. 121 side quests, I'm very happy about that because the side quests were some of my favorite things in Legends Arceus. So getting a lot of side quests again is always great to me, and I have a feeling it's going to be even more when the DLC comes around because the free patch for Legends Arceus also added more side quests. Now we got Mega Exo. Yep, see, he's not laying on his back, guys. Matter of fact, there's even more to him going on. There's like this, oh man, that's intimidating. The Razor over here, plus the drills. Oh, that's cool. Also, this drill on his head kind of looks like a beak. That's kind of funny. Like a toucan. All right, here's Mega Drampa again. Nice, clear image. Drampa was already cool. This looks even cooler. I am so here for it. So here for it. Oh, Mega Electros. There was a motion animation of Mega Electros. I think it got taken down and we passed it earlier, but if it is on here later, the motion for Mega Electros looks really cool. So you guys should be excited. You should be excited for that. It's going to be really nice. All right, for anyone interested, there's a full list of Rogue Mega Pokemon. I'm not going to look at this because I'd like it to be a surprise for myself. There are 20 Wild Zones. Okay, good to know. Including some post-game exclusive ones. Interesting. Okay. And in the post-game is when you catch Xerneas and Yveltal. Got it. That also is something that I did not need to know, but you know, whatever. All right, Zygarde needs to be in its complete form to Mega Evolve. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. He has a new move called Nihilite. And that's funny, like nihilism. But Nihilite, that's cool. Okay. It's an even striking even fairy types and so it's a dragon type move that hits fairy types. Wild. Interesting. Okay. And he has another move called Corn Force and it changes to Nihilite when he Mega Evolves. Got it. Okay, to proofread myself from earlier, yes, okay, the Hoenn starters are in the DLC decks. Okay, good. Okay, so we are going to be getting them in the DLC. That's what I thought. Okay, they're just not in the base game. Whew. I thought so, but I just wanted to be double sure. All right, guys, you know I love my Gen 2. I love my Gen 2 Pokemon. There's going to be new Mega for Gen 2 Pokemon. This is Mega Skarmory. Again, I'm just adding motion here so that AI doesn't pick anything up, but this looks amazing. Phenomenal. Great work. Oh, full render of Mega Phalanx. Amazing. We love it. All right. Oh, Barbaracle. That is the Pokemon. Okay, it is the Barnacle Pokemon. Here's the full render. Looks cool. Looks really cool. Honestly, I think it looked cooler in the not colored version, but still, the colored version is not a letdown at all. Still probably the coolest change from one to the next. All right. Ooh, what is this? Here's how shiny Pokemon appear in Legends ZA. The shiny sound is back, and they also have a special effect. Okay, that's just like in Legends Arceus. Let's see, they're gonna run into a shiny here. We're not gonna play the sound or the music, but we're probably gonna see it here. Oh, I love the way the Charizard just comes in with you. Oh, there's someone hiding right there. That was cool. Oh yeah, all right, we saw the effect there. Nice. It is very, very theatrical the way it appears on screen, so it's gonna be pretty easy to keep track of them. Look at how big and cool that Charizard looks. Oh, I love how it flies around with you. This is so cool. And they fly in front of you a bit too. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Full 3D render of Mega Chandelure. Full 3D render of Skarmory again, this time standing on the ground. Look at those claws. That is so cool. Okay. Oh, this has a lot of info that I really care about. Okay. So we're going to take a closer look at this. This is Switch 1 footage, by the way. Everything we're seeing is from Switch 1. So you guys know if you're playing on Switch 1, you're going to have a fully functional game. It runs just as well as Legends Arceus from what we can see, which is, from my experience, the most polished and well-running Pokemon game that we've ever had until the Switch 2 version of Scarlet and Violet. Even then, actually, I think Legends Arceus might have ran better. Anyways, so this is really cool because not only is Mega Blastoise shooting out of his cannon like we've wanted since 2013, and honestly should have had since 2013, but whatever. Look at the area we're in here. This is how we're going to be seeing ice Pokemon in Pokemon Legends ZA. There's entire biomes for ice Pokemon, and it looks gorgeous. Now, Is this just the biome? Is this a change in season? I think it's a biome because we can see we're in a wild zone, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. Everything around looks normal as far as I can see, and it's just this is like a wintry area. And there might be even more aggressively wintry areas in some other spots of the map. So that's really exciting. For me specifically, I really love ice Pokemon. So this was something I was very curious about, was how are we gonna get ice Pokemon to survive here? And then the same is gonna be for fire Pokemon. I'm gonna be very intrigued on how certain fire Pokemon like Slugma, for example, might be able to survive here. Because I think Slugma is in this dex, I'm pretty sure. Again, small but important piece of information. We have 1 Mega Stone for each Pokemon that can have a Mega Stone. It cannot be discarded or sold, and the Pokemon holding that Mega Stone cannot be traded. So keep that in mind as you're building out your team. Now, this is where we get confirmation, full on, that Legends ZA takes place 5 years after X and Y. Because this NPC says it straight up right here, easy peasy. Nothing more to be said about that, except I'm glad we have a decent time skip. Now, this is something I personally love because it's an ode to Galar, which is the neighbor of Kalos. And this NPC is saying it's hard to keep winning forever. Even the unbeatable Leon was eventually defeated. So apparently Leon had never lost a match until they fought our trainer in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So I don't know how much longer after X and Y Sword and Shield took place, but I have a feeling it took place after X and Y because it seemed a little more futuristic. And then this takes place after that, clearly. So that's pretty cool. The continuity is kind of fun to keep up with. All right, so now we're going to get to some people's verdicts on what they're feeling about the game as they're playing it. And the news is good. The news is good. Let's look. Early impressions from someone who beat the game. The best Pokemon game I have played. Fresh, dynamic, and doesn't feel like Pokemon. And they left us with this glorious GIF. I say GIF. I don't know why I said GIF, but whatever. I don't know which one's the right way to say that. Does anyone actually know yet? I don't know if we've ever decided on that. Anyways, but that's really good. It doesn't even feel like Pokemon is crazy work. I guess that's a good thing. I guess. I mean, I liked the way that like a game like Legends Arceus, for example, blended the feeling of Pokemon with a new, fresh experience. It still felt like Pokemon, but not Pokemon. So this one, I wonder if it's going to feel just like completely not Pokemon. I don't know. Or maybe it'll feel more Pokemon than ever, like what we've always wanted Pokemon to be. Because sometimes there is a difference between what Pokemon is and what we know it can and should be. And we could just be getting closer and closer to that, or having different variations of that with each of these games. All right, we got Mega Scolipede right here, a full 3D render. The colors look glorious. It looks so cool. Again, I love the original design of Scolipede, so seeing it in a Mega form is nothing but great for me. Now, the male protagonists can wear crop tops. So we already knew that they weren't gender locking as we saw them in a skirt earlier. So you can literally put the male protagonist in a crop top and skirt. And I find that so funny. And to any of you, again, who have a problem with that, you have no sense of humor, for one. And for two, you can go. You can leave. You don't have to play the game. You don't have to exist around anyone who wants to dress themselves or their fictional characters like that. So, and I mean that in the worst way possible. You can go. So here we got another variation of Nurse Joy. This is Stoner Nurse Joy. Love to see it. And we can set beacons on the map, just like any other 3D adventure game that wasn't Pokemon until now. Perfect. Awesome. Amazing. There is a spoiler beneath this. I don't want to go over it because it is a story spoiler and I don't want to spoil story. Now, I did read it a bit for myself. I didn't read the whole thing, but I got enough info to where I'm like, okay, I'm excited, but I don't want to know anymore, if that makes sense. So I'll let you guys, if you want to look at that yourselves, look at it. But again, I don't want to spoil too much. Now, the map. This has been a point of contention for many of us, and it's how big is this map really? Is this small? Is this big? From the looks of it, it's seems pretty big because we're looking at the scale here. Eevee can be found in the small green area. And if you look here, how small this is in, like, this looks large-ish here close up, but then so small in the grand scheme of the map. And then where the Pokemon can be found is like a dot on top of that. So it is going to be quite interesting to find the Pokemon that you want and love in the game. And I like that. I like the thrill of being able to explore and discover like that. All right, here we see our trainer having the option to go to sleep, or I guess say no to going to sleep. I don't speak this language. So this is a nice room though. Look at that bed. Heck, I would go to sleep on that bed. Anyways, so this next portion here is going to be, again, more on the megas. We're going to see more megas in full 3D, and it's going to be them transforming. So just slight warning before I scroll up onto this. 3, 2, 1, we're going up, we're going up. All right, so this one's Mega Clefable. Whoa! Okay, this is my first time seeing it. So, whoa! Oh, and some gameplay. Oh, there was like a slight shot of gameplay there too. Okay, that's one of my favorite new megas. I won't lie. One of my favorite new megas. Okay. Let's look at this one. Which one is this? This one's Mega Dragalg. Oh, whoa. That's super cool. Also my first time seeing that. I think there's some explanation on him right here, but I don't want to stop to read it while recording. So, all right, Mega Starmie again. It's the whole superhero pose for me. That's what's selling me on it. That's why I'm not too mad about this mega form. Again, it's goofy. I wish it could have been cooler, but I also see what they're going for with it. You know, they're giving him like some power on the front. All right, and finally, this is possibly going to be a tradition in Legends games, and we are gonna have a quest where we get a shiny Pokemon. In this case, instead of shiny Ponyta, it's gonna be shiny Marie. We're all gonna experience it. We're all gonna get it, probably pretty early on in the game, and that's pretty nice. I actually really like the shiny color, so I might rather enjoy that. I might not even evolve it all the way to Ampharos. I'll have to look at what the shiny looks like for Ampharos, because I love Ampharos. So if there's a shiny version, I don't like the color scheme as much, I'm not doing it. All right, but either way, there is going to be more coming out. Matter of fact, there's already more. We're going to cover that either later today or tomorrow. Huge stuff. Huge. You guys have no idea. Or maybe you do have an idea. Maybe you've seen it a little bit, but we're going to be talking about that. And let me know your thoughts on these ones that we covered here today already. And then we're going to talk about more in the next video. I want to do it separate because it is kind of a separate leak in its own, but it is a leak nonetheless of more ZA stuff. So in the meantime, check out more of my videos like this one here where I discussed the first wave of leaks and data mining done for Pokemon Legends ZA, just a day before the ones we covered today. Links in front of you and in the pinned comment. If you like what I do, want to support me, and have your name featured at the end of all of my videos, then feel free to join my Patreon with the link in front of you or in the description. I've been johtojonny, and I'll catch you all there.